Well, Ulises, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions for the first time in their history. Maybe one day the Rays will be first-time World Series champions, hopefully.
Must be nice. Don't know what that feels like, but congratulations to their fans. Hey, the Rays lost against the World Series champion. So we've talked about that, and we've got much more to talk about starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the traditional podcasting platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, it's no secret, of course, that the Texas Rangers have won their first World Series ring. So now the no World Series club stands at five teams: the Milwaukee Brewers, the San Diego Padres, the Seattle Mariners, the Colorado Rockies, and the Tampa Bay Rays. In the Rays' defense, they were founded after all of those franchises, so they have that working for them. The Brewers were founded in 1969, the Padres also in 1969, the Mariners in 1977, the Rockies in 1993, and of course the then Devil Rays in 1998. The Rays also have working for them, their last World Series appearance was closer than all those other teams, being in 2020. The Mariners actually have yet to make a World Series appearance, believe it or not, after some of those dominant teams in the 1990s. But the Rangers being World Series champions, Ulises, any big takeaway or observation from that happening besides it, of course, not being the Rays that won the thing and the Rays losing to the Rangers as they won the thing, and then Evan Longoria still missing out on that first piece of jewelry, if you will.
Yeah, that elusive ring. I think what you said about the remaining five in that club in comparison to the Rays, or remaining four and comparison to the Rays, is what every Rays fan did. Like, hey, wait, it's not the same. Okay, we were founded in 98. Like, and that's exactly what all of us did. Still sucks, but yeah, you're right. In 98, it's not the same as, 77 for
77 or 69. I don't even know when the Rangers were founded. I would have to look that up, but I would imagine it's been some time.
Yeah, I think like the 60s, right? Because
I mean, if Nolan Ryan played for them,
I would think so. Yeah. Although I think Ryan played with them in the later. Doesn't when he hit Ventura in the head, he's wearing a Texas Rangers uniform, right?
When that sounds right, but I could be wrong on that. I am going to do a quick Google search here.
I think late 80s.
That did not help me out.
No. Okay.
Because 1823 definitely is not correct. I'm looking up the actual Texas Rangers, the law enforcement arm of the state. So that is not what I was looking for.
No.
Google, interweb, 1961.
1961. Okay. Oh, they were in the same year as the Mets expansion year.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Well, okay. That doesn't make me feel happy at all because the Mets won it in 68, right? The Miracle Mets were 68, if I'm remembering correctly. 68, yeah. And they were expanded in 61 with the Rangers. The Diamondbacks were expanded with the Rays in 98, and then they won in 01. Are we the Texas Rangers, and are we going to have to wait 60 years?
Hopefully not. Hopefully the Rays can knock one off before the 2020s are over. I will say what they have going for them, or what I should say baseball has going for them, is there is a lot of championship parity, and credit to Fangraphs for showcasing this. The sport's 23 seasons without a repeat champion is the longest streak in the four major American sports leagues. Moreover, the Rangers this year became the 9th unique World Series champion in the last 10 years. I'll just run through those other names here. The Rangers, of course, in 23, the Astros in 22, the Braves in 21, the Dodgers in 2020, Nationals 2019. Man, they have fallen apart. The Red Sox in 2018, the Astros in 2017, the Cubs in 2016, the Royals in 2015, and the Giants in 2014. So the only name that you see twice there, or hear twice, is the Red Sox, I believe. Or no, the Astros. I'm sorry.
It's pretty
cool.
The
Astros
man.
won it in 2017 and 2022. Other than that, there's been a unique team to win the thing each of those last 10 years.
And no repeat year since what, 2000, since the Yankees did it. So that's pretty awesome too. I mean, you do think there's a lot of possibilities to win the World Series when this is, you know, they're not basketball, right? Like basketball or football seems like it's if a team gets going hot. Don't the Kansas City Chiefs have like 3 Super Bowl finals and then like 2 rings?
Yeah, well, it helps when you have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Pat Mahomes. An elite quarterback can take you far. An ace starting pitcher, that's just one.
That's just one dude.
I mean, it's important to have that, but it takes a lot more. You have a top-tier quarterback, the value can really elevate you game by game, round by round in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball doesn't really have that. It's a sum of all parts.
No, you need to have ask the Yankees this year if having Garrett Cole helped them to get to the playoffs. It doesn't do that. But
they missed overall, the playoffs. Oh, man, heads are going to roll.
Yeah, overall World Series, I think it was fun. Too bad, Longo didn't get his ring as a Rays perspective. But, they lose against the best team. The best team got hot. I think this fuels the fire, Kev, to a lot of people that say, that they're different tournaments, the regular season and the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And I have to agree, they're just completely different. Like you might as well have a 162 trophy. Like, hey, you were the best team in baseball this year. And here you go. You had the best record. You guys are the man. Right. Here's the trophy for 162. Oh, now we're going to have a thing called playoffs, and it's another tournament for the best teams to participate in. Let's see who wins this one. That's what it really is. Yeah. It's 2 different types of tournaments. It's the long who has, the wherewithal to go through 162 and all the ups and downs. And then the other one is like, hey, how hot can you get in a month? Yeah. Can 2 starting pitchers take you to the promised land? Because that's basically what happened for the Diamondbacks. Brendan Pfaadt was awesome. They weren't counting on him.
No. Yeah, it's and that's where we go back to. It is a shame, and as of right now, there's not a possibility that's it's going to happen. But if you could have, best of 7 series or, more playoffs, less regular season, just give these teams that worked so hard over the course of 6 months, like really emphasize, okay, your depth and your roster construction 1 to 25, 1 to 26, it can stand the test of time through a best of 7 game series versus a best of 3, best of 5, whatever it may be. It's madness, just like March Madness in basketball. Anything can happen. October Madness with baseball, I guess, to some respect. All right, we have more to discuss. I've got a couple observations from the World Series besides the porous television ratings. I don't really want to get into that, but a couple little observations and takes from the Fall Classic that was. But first, we have to tell you this. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's $150 buckaroos if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there is literally no better time to get in on the action than right this moment. The app is incredibly easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and beyond. So go ahead and visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to kick off the National Football League season. FanDuel, they are, if you haven't learned by now, the official partner of the NFL. Well, a couple things just on the Rangers winning the whole thing, in a testament to them on this, the trade deadline. They went out and made moves. They saw that there was a window. They saw that there was an opportunity. They were confident that maybe we have a special group here, and a couple names, notable acquisitions can take us over the hump. Just go back to it. I think it was June 30th when they went out and acquired Aroldis Chapman. Then a month later, they went out and got Max Scherzer and Jordan Montgomery. That made a huge, huge difference. And I know we've gone back and forth on this a little bit, but you can understand and see why that the Rays a couple years ago said, hey, let's go out and get Nelson Cruz. Guys that hit 450 homers and 2,000 hits over the course of 19 years, they don't grow on trees. So let's go out and make a move. They maybe should have made another move or two that was significant, but that really sticks hold to me, is the Rangers really going for broke, if you will, in addition to their massive payroll. And we've talked about this before. Teams that have the money to pay for stars, for veterans, for guys who have postseason experience, for guys who can perform in the postseason, i.e. Corey Seager, that's where it stands the test of time between him and Simeon and then other guys a part of that group.
We've talked about how we were both very shocked that Seager got that amount of money. Boy, if that money is now irrelevant. Like now when he gets you a World Series MVP, the money's not worth it. That's why you pay guys. I think there's also this this thing with the fact that they just kept on adding. Like that's very, very cool. You know, they got Jordan Montgomery, who basically was 1B to Nady Eovaldi's 1A in the starting pitching rotation. I know Max Scherzer didn't add on to the production of this team, but you know, in the clubhouse, I'm sure that it's very beneficial to have a Max Scherzer in the clubhouse, even if he might not be pitching and he's hurt.
That reinforcement of, hey, we believe in you, we trust in you, and this is why we're going out and getting supplemental help here, is because you're a good group, and we're just adding to it, we're just bolstering to it, and
for it to not work out is different, though.
Yeah,
like it's what did you do? Were you able to target what you needed, and then did you go ahead and acquire it? It's like the 162 is that's one championship. You get a trophy for that. Oh, if it works out, also there's another trophy for that. But it's completely different. Like your decision making. Were you able to target what you were missing, and then did you go ahead and do the right moves to acquire said piece? And they did do that.
Yes, they did. And credit to them too, because I remember back in early part of the season, I mean, really April, when Jacob deGrom went down. Again, the Rangers did this without Jacob deGrom. He made just a couple starts for the Rangers before it was see ya, can't produce for you. I'm out for the season. And you know, you could have languished and wallowed, but no, they kept pushing and fighting, and they were still a really, really good group, as we can see. And just, man, beyond the pitching and the acquisitions at the trade deadline, just the offensive output over the course of the playoffs. And this isn't all the games, but just 11 runs, 9 runs, 11 runs, 9 runs, 10 runs, 7 runs, 11 runs, 7 runs. It's hard for any team to compete with that.
Yeah, you really have to have tremendous pitching to quiet that offense, and the Rays kind of did. You know, 4 and 7 is better than all those 11s you read. So
right.
But they weren't just themselves, you know, and they couldn't hit. So there's that.
And I think the Rangers had, we learned 3 Gold Glove winners. So kind of an under the radar thing about them was the defense. Nate Lowe winning 1 at first base, Adolis Garcia winning 1 at right field, and then Jonah Heim winning 1 at catcher. Oh yeah, 2 former Rays players in Heim and Nate Lowe making an impact for that group there. So just wanted to throw that out there before we move along here to some Rays discussion. The moves and the wheels are starting to turn. We did our 40-man roster crunch episodes, and The Rays certainly aren't wasting any time since the conclusion of the 2023 season, as 6 players have been placed on outright waivers by the organization. Christian Bethancourt, Jalen, Beeks, Josh Fleming, everybody's friend, Tristan Gray, Raimel Tapia, and Cole Sulser. And a little background on this. Typically, these guys become free agents if not claimed, but they can also be re-signed to minor or major league deals. And the Rays have more work to do, of course, because there's still 7 players on the 60-day IL, plus Wander was added back to the roster in a administrative, clerical, procedural move. There's no update on his off-the-field status. And then with Jake Diekman, Chris Davinsky, and Bob Stevenson now becoming free agents, the Rays have 37 players on the roster, but still have to find a way to gerrymander some of those 60-day IL guys onto the roster.
So I don't think there's any surprise with these 6 names in Bethancourt, Beeks, Fleming, Sulser, Tapia, and Gray. I don't think there was any shock to the world. I'm kind of not surprised, but because I said Bethancourt would get the axe, but yeah, I think that would be the most not even popular player, but the most productive player. Maybe, I don't know, how would we see Bethancourt as like the bigger name out of all in that group, or the one that had like the most important role in that
I mean,
group?
are we talking about this past season or just overall in their Rays career? Because Jalen Beeks did make quite a positive impact over the years before 2023. I mean, he was dynamic in 2022 and then in 2020 before he got hurt. And then 2019, he pitched 104 innings with a 4.31 ERA. So he's provided value over the years as, a bit player, a rank and file dude. Now, as far as Christian Bethancourt goes, I find it interesting. This season he started 89 games, hit 226 with a 636 OPS, but eventually lost his job to Rene Pinto. And something that really stuck to me in the end of season post-mortem press conference, I think it was a question in regards to why did Rene Pinto get the start over CB in the 2 playoff games? And Kevin Cash, or one of the front office guys, I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but basically just they didn't say anything detrimental about Christian Bethancourt, but were so upbeat on Rene Pinto and his defensive ability. And man, the pitching staff loves working with this guy. So if your pitching staff loves working with one guy over the other, and Christian Bethancourt's supposed to be that leader, that bring the guy together, that veteran who's been there, done that, that's kind of alarming to me, that Rene Pinto, in a very short period of time of getting called up from AAA, has already, developed that rapport with the pitching staff. Although I guess going back to the minor leagues, he worked with a lot of those guys previously. But I just think that, I would find it hard to believe that Christian Bethancourt returns in a Rays uniform. I think we got to move on. We got to move along. We got to give Logan Driscoll a shot, Blake Hunt a shot. We got to go out and sign a free agent catcher, make a trade for a free agent catcher, and hope some of your guys internally, like Dominic Keegan, can go off and maybe be ready by 2025 or something. But and there's also, Francisco Mejia perhaps waiting in the wing, but I think there's going to be some sort of retool or overhaul with that catching tandem. I think Rene Pinto is going to stay in the fold, but they got to find a quality guy to supplement with him, or just have an equal share. They need to find somebody who can be reliable and respected and help out.
And they're going to. I think they're going to, probably get a catcher that will give some, a little bit of a competition for Driscoll and Blake Hunt, to see between those 3 guys who can take it. Maybe like an Austin Hedges type, just, a very one-sided type of player. Maybe, defensively it would be kind of rough to add that to the bunch, because the Rays don't need more players that don't have an offensive profile. If you have Pinto, who can really handle the pitching duties and has really good rapport with them, maybe you go with a more of an offensive minded catcher as your second one. Is that Hunt? Is that Driscoll? Is that that new guy? Don't know, but I think that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to get a guy who has had some major league experience, but not a lot. I wanna come up with a name that like the Rays have done so in the past, like not even like something like a little bit better than Jesus Sucre. Like something a bit better than that, but I don't think they're gonna go and get the Hannigan of the time or the Ramos of that time. Like it's going to be a smaller name than that.
And again, this is no disrespect to Rene Pinto, because he very well could continue to develop and go off and improve as a player. I think we've been impressed with what he's been able to do offensively, and then hearing the pitchers loving to work with him. That adds some cachet as well. And he's been in the organization since 2014. So he's definitely had to work his way through. And I think it goes back to he's worked with a lot of these guys over the years, whether it was in AAA, AA, spring training, whatever it may be. But kind of flipping on that question, I know we kind of got sidetracked there, but out of those 6 names, Bethancourt, Beeks, Fleming, Gray, Tapia, Sulser, who is most likely to return, if any?
I think Fleming. I would give it to Fleming. I think that the Rays like the fact that he can be a swingman. The fact that he gives the rotation some depth if they need it. He stepped up quite nicely this year in the beginning. I know he had a couple of ugly ones, but really that was it. Like he was performing like you would want a number 5 starter who you didn't expect much from to produce. So like I think Josh Fleming would be a guy, and they know how to use him with the opener. I would think Fleming would be the guy.
Fleming over Beeks, also maybe perhaps because of the contract or salary consideration, or are you just done with Beeks whatsoever?
I think the contract is also a factor here. I mean, what Fleming's going to be making like $1 million?
Yeah, and Beeks is arbitration eligible, I believe, this year for the first time, or he's arbitration eligible. No, he's arbitration eligible this year, and then he'll be a free agent in 2025. So
I think they're all. I think they're all arbitration eligible except for Gray.
Okay, yeah. So, but there are steps to arbitration year 1, year 2, year 3.
Yeah, I think.
If I had to guess, I would think that if they brought back anybody, it would be a pitcher and a lefty at that as well.
The difference is only $800,000. Beeks is estimated to be 1.8 and Fleming to be 1 mil. So I guess it's not that much of a difference, but I still.
Hey, and the Rays, maybe not to the Rangers or the Yankees or the Astros, but to the Rays, $800,000.
Hey,
can make a difference when you've never had a payroll above $80 million.
You know my status on that. When Neander gets on a microphone, and Bendix did too, and we'll talk about Bendix on Tuesday's episode.
Yeah.
And they get on a microphone, they say, hey, we could run it back, and that would be no problem with our salary considerations. And then it's about to be like 120 mil if all the salary estimates are correct.
Yeah.
Well, I got to take you at your word, Neander. You said you could run it back. You said you have the money. Okay, I believe you. Yeah. I believe you.
Although running it back, likely without Wander Franco, without Shane McClanahan, how smart is it to run it back?
I know that's another thing. Yeah,
that's another episode. That's another topic. Because they also need a lot of help in other areas as well, despite winning 99 games in the regular season. All right, there it is. Put it in the comments. Who do you think out of those 6 will return, if any should return? Be curious to see what people have to say there. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.